Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Today is Tuesday, and for the regular viewers and even the new viewers, I'm sorry I didn't get a video posted yesterday. We didn't get home until like 4:45. We were very tired, a long day, and so my plan had been to take the camera outside. I had a few things I wanted to show you out there, but just didn't happen. So anyway, today's a new day, and I'm going to be making a bean soup. Long-time listeners of the channel have seen me make my infamous bean soup. It's been a while though, so we have a lot of new people watching, so I thought I'd make it again. So last night I soaked these white pea beans in water. Actually, yesterday morning, knowing that I'd be making this soup, I decided to soak these beans, which is where you usually start with a bean soup. A lot of people pressure cook them. In fact, I think Danielle mentioned something about maybe we should pressure cook them. But we may end up doing that later in the day. But for now, I just got them soaking. So, bean with bacon soup. So there were the beans, and now here's the bacon. Now, twice a year we get a half a pig from our neighbor, and we have it processed. And yesterday, after we were finished with the dentist, we went up to pick it up from the butcher. And usually there's always a few packages like this, what they call bacon ends and pieces. And I love bacon ends and pieces. For a while, when I was in my 30s years of age, very poor, and I practically lived on bacon ends and pieces. Well, not really. Slight exaggeration, but I used to always, every week, I would always get a 3-pound box of bacon ends and pieces. And I'd either make soup, or I would just find the biggest pieces and cook them up, make sandwiches, find ways to eat them, and you'd be surprised what you can do if you have to. So, anyway, we're going to go ahead and cut these bacon ends and pieces and put them in our kettle. This is the soup kettle that I like to use for most of my soups. We also have a conventional soup pot with a heavy bottom that we also use a lot, but for my stews I like to use this big cast iron guy, and it makes for a wonderful soup. So I started off by putting a couple tablespoons of olive oil in the bottom, and maybe 2 tablespoons of butter. This is going to be a very rich and very creamy soup. Just the type of a thing that you would want on a cold day. Today is a cold day, or a cool day anyway. It's in the mid-20s, and it's very windy outside. So I thought it would be a good day to make this soup. And knowing that we were going to the butcher's to pick up that meat, I knew there'd be some ends and pieces in it. I said, let's make the bean with bacon soup. We have our bacon on the wood stove. Our bacon ends and pieces. In fact, let me show you. So back here, this is our cast iron pot. It's on the, you could say that it's on the back burner, although we don't really have a back burner. The whole wood stove is the burner, but that's the back area of, anyway, never mind. So all of our bacon is in that. It's just kind of idling along while we're actually working on breakfast right now. Danielle she's the head chef on that, and this is it so far. We have bacon, and we have potatoes, and we have onions, and all kinds of good stuff. Peppers. And peppers, she said. Yeah, she told me there's peppers in there. So anyway, that's going to be for breakfast. But back to the soup. So for vegetables, we're featuring our own homegrown vegetables: carrot, onion, and celery. And the carrots come from our root cellar. Although we keep a supply up here, so we don't have to go down every time we need a doggone carrot. And so carrots, and then I think I said celery and onion. I already said those things. So I did not. I went down to the field and got celery, but I didn't get enough. I really need one more celery. So I'll probably go down in a second and get that. So let me go ahead and chop this up and I'll catch up with you. Well, I was going to go down to the garden to get celery, but Danielle had she had a cache of celery off to the side, and so she volunteered to prep this stock. So that's what Danielle's doing right now.
Yeah, at this time, I find that the strings, I don't believe in stringless celery. That's not celery. So you know something's wrong somewhere. But, it's not all that much, but it makes a difference, especially if you were trying to slice this up for use with a dip. But anyway, I'm just trimming. So now, it's fine. It's good for chopping up for soup.
Okay, I'll take over.
All right.
Although Danielle is the chief chef in this kitchen, this is her, quote-unquote, her kitchen, and she makes all the final decisions. We both input in decision-making, but because it's her kitchen, she has the final say. So right there, you're looking at her workstation. And then this is my workstation, typically. And so that's how we do that. Quite often in this kitchen, we are both at our different workstations preparing something or other. And then this big butcher block piece we both work at. That's where a lot of bread making takes place, on the big butcher block. So I just get the celery. Danielle likes to eat these little, what I call knuckles. I call these the knuckles of the celery. Knuckles. Otherwise, she saves them for soup stock. She's been collecting pieces of onion, and as soon as she sees these celery leaves, she scoops them right up and whisks them off to a bag in the freezer. There really is nothing like having your own grown vegetables. Alright, that's our celery, and that's about all we can do for now until after breakfast. Well, I think our bacon is done enough. It's going to continue to cook in our soup, but I'm going to set it to the side. We have to do something to that in a minute, but I want to get our soup stock started. We're going to take a medium pot here, and we're going to put a quart, not a quart of oil, a quart of water in it. Okay, 1 quart of water. And we're going to put about 2 or 3 teaspoons of our favorite bouillon, which is a brand called Better Than Bouillon. I like to use the chicken stock in this particular soup. There's 1. There's 2. I'll just about finish up this jar. And there's 3. Alright, we're going to go back to the soup pot. Now that we've got our stock started, go back to our soup pot. We're going to take that bacon out. And we're going to store it to the side. This bacon is from our neighbor. She lives not even 2 miles from us, and she does our chickens. She does our pork. We get half a pig from her twice a year. And we're very happy with that arrangement. I like the fact that that this meat comes from very close by. It doesn't travel from Green Bay, Wisconsin, or the Chicago stockyards or some darn place.
And it's smoked bacon.
Yeah, smoked bacon. And so we're going to start putting our vegetables in. These are the celeries and the carrots that we cut up earlier. Now I have to cut up an onion. Just one onion for this soup. And this is our favorite onion, the Ailsa Craig, that we grow here. We're actually growing seeds for Ailsa Craig onion right now. We put 20 of these onions back in the ground. And they're overwintering underneath a thick blanket of mulch. And next April, I'm going to show you the onions coming out of the ground again. And we'll grow those into our seed plants. But in the meantime, we're chopping up one of this year's harvest. And this will go into our soup. Onions in a soup, my favorite. We'll add our onions to our soup. So now we have chopped up carrot, chopped up celery, and now chopped up onion. We're going to let these soften up for 5 or 10 minutes. And then we'll put our beans in. Now we're going to add some amazing Italian seasoning that Danielle just made up for me. It's about 2 teaspoons worth of what you might call Italian seasoning. You can buy it at the store.
But everything's grown here.
But that's, oh yeah, Danielle just interjected that everything in our Italian seasoning is grown here. Oh boy, what a difference the aroma is now with that in there. Ooh boy. I put a garlic in there also, a clove of garlic. Now I'm going to put the bacon back in.
Can we mention what's in?
We can, yeah.
Comprises.
Why don't you
Italian?
walk over to the camera and tell them?
Okay. 4 herbs that we grow here in our garden and around the house are basil, oregano, sage, and rosemary. And those are what I consider Italian seasonings. I had fennel powder. Oh, I had fennel powder in there. Okay. Fennel,
Did you grow
oregano, rosemary,
fennel?
and basil. Yeah.
Oh. I didn't know that. Okay, I can turn the camera off for a second.
Okay. Well, I can correct that. Fennel seed, I ground it up. That fennel seed I do have to buy. Organically, of course. That's all I needed was to...
Now in goes the co-star of the show, the beans. They are co-starring along with the bacon. Just stir that in really nice. Let it sit for a minute or two, and then I'm going to put the soup stock in. Then we're on our way. And then next I'm going to be making a tuna salad. This soup here will be for supper. And the tuna salad, we're going to have tuna salad open-faced sandwiches for lunch on amaranth bread.
And maybe melted cheese.
And maybe melted cheese. That's right. All right, I'm going to jump in here quick and put our better than bouillon chicken stock in our soup. There. We'll give that a nice stir. And I'm going to put some flat leaf parsley in that we grow. I'm sorry if I keep saying things like that we grew, that we grow, but we're kind of proud of it. All right, we're going to let this simmer for a bit, and we'll check back in with you shortly. Well, it's been a few hours later now, and I think it's time to check the soup. I've been stirring it all along. I think it's done, pretty much done. What I do want to do though, the last step, is to put a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of chopped up lemon rind in here for added flavor, and then we're going to wand it. So let me grab half of a lemon. Just going to grab the juice out of this half of a lemon, get the pits out. You could do this directly into the soup if you don't mind having pits in your soup. I don't care for pits in the soup. So just grab these out first. There's only one pit here. Good. And then I just want to grab some of the rind. It doesn't take much, and you'd be surprised what a difference in flavor it'll give your soup, especially a bean soup like this one. This is the only soup that I do this to. I put grated lemon rind and orange rind in my New York style cheesecakes, but that's the only other recipe that I do this for. Okay, I'll just pop that over there, grab my knife, and put that lemon rind in with our juice. Just like that. And that will go into our soup. There, that's it. I'm going to give that a good stir. That's good. I'm liking that. Let's bring this thing over. Put it in the sink, and I'm going to grab the emulsifier, or the wand if you will. Alright, it's time for the big guns to go to work now. Well, that should just about do it. Now I'm going to put the soup back on the stove, but on the far right hand side where it will get the least amount of heat. We'll park this thing right here. This is the far right hand side. It'll still stay warm, but it shouldn't overboil. And we'll just park it right there until maybe tonight. After we're done with our baths, we'll have a nice cup of soup. Alright, we'll see you then.